Starting on page 49 is the story Putting Up Hay. A long, long time ago, when Grandpa was a little boy, we went each summer to my grandpa and grandma's farm, and we would plan our summer trips when there was haying time. Grandpa's farm was in Trempealeau County between the little towns of Whitehall and Pigeon Falls in the western part of Wisconsin. Today, it is still known as the Brandon Farm. This picture of the mailbox looks north, up the Daggett Coulee Road. Getting to my grandparents' farm was also difficult in that we had an old car and we lived 400 miles away. In World War II era, gas was rationed and the speed limit was 35 miles per hour to save both gasoline usage and tire wear. Nonetheless, we would go there at least once and maybe twice per year. Uncle Floyd was the one who primarily operated the farm, as Grandpa was too old to help very much. Times were hard, and he had little income other than from milking 20 or so Holstein cows. With that many cows, there needed to be a supply of hay and some grain. Sometimes Uncle Floyd had corn or oats for feed, but there was not much land for growing that type of crop on his farm. You can see the picture of the shocked corn west of the barn on page 59. There were only 10 acres of flat land and another 20 acres on the side of the hill in which he raised hay, usually alfalfa. The alfalfa was cut with the horse-drawn mower. Once it was cut, it was hoped that there would be warm, dry weather and lots of sunshine to cure that hay. Rain on the cut hay would not only delay the drying process, but it would also decrease the quality and feed value of the hay, as the leaves would fall off and the green color would be lost. If all went well, 1 or 2 days after cutting, the rake would be used to put the hay in rows. Then the wagon with the hay rack would be taken to the field, and the loose hay would be pitched onto the flatbed or hay rack. Sometimes a rear-end hay loader was used that would pick up the cured hay and deliver it onto the wagon the horses were pulling. This hayfield was on the side of a hill, and there was seldom a summer that we did not turn the hay rack and loader over due to the steepness of the hill. That was always a problem because it was hard to get the right side up again, and the hay would be dumped in a pile in the field. We would have to pitch it back on the wagon with hay forks. When the wagon was loaded, it was taken to the barn, and the special hay forks would be stuck into the pile of hay on the wagon. This device was attached to a rope that went straight up to the open haymow door. The rope went through a series of pulleys, including a device that allowed the pulley with the load of hay to slide on a track into the barn. The rope then came down to the ground and through a pulley, which was hitched to a horse to pull the hay up into the mow. A special trip rope was used to dump the hay out of the forks and onto the other piles of hay in the barn loft at just the right time and place. One of the good parts about helping with the haying was that there was always lots of food. It seemed to me that my grandma worked in the kitchen all the time. We would have breakfast, a mid-morning snack, and a great meal at noon with all kinds of good foods to eat. Then in mid-afternoon, we again came to the house for a drink and a slice or two of blueberry or other kind of fruit pie. By evening, there were chores to do, which included milking the cows and hauling the milk to the spring-fed cooler tank. This tank was a livestock watering tank used exclusively for cooling the milk, which was sunk into the ground near the source of the spring. The spring water fed into the tank, which kept the milk cans cool all year round. It only needed to be kept cool until the truck came to pick it up, however. The times I most remember working on the Wisconsin farm were between the ages of 6 and 15. In those days, 1941 to 1950, we lived on the farm near Maroa, Illinois, and later in the town of Clinton, Illinois.